Hi everyone, just a little update video. I normally make one of these every 3 months. Again, like the last one, it's a few weeks late. Not much to report on the autumn months. Those 3 months were not very productive. Last 3 months of the year, in fact, I gained quite a bit of weight. That's inspired me for now in 2025 to lose weight. So I'm starting at a very rough 90 kilograms, the heaviest I've ever been. The goal is to lose upwards of 20 kilograms. 1 week into this and I've managed to lose 2 kilograms, but I know that's the easiest two to lose out of the 20, so I'm not expecting to be at my goal anytime soon. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of consistent effort moving forward. That means I'm tracking all my calories, I'm tracking all the calories I'm eating, all the calories I'm burning from exercise, and I'm considering what my resting metabolic rate is. I don't have a device measuring it, so I'm just getting averages on the internet for someone my age, my height, and at my current weight. And I'm low-balling the amount of calories I burn, and I'm high-balling the amount of calories that I eat, so that I'm sort of trending in the right direction. So this week I managed to go close to 5,000 more calories burnt than I ate. Although I did decide to treat myself because I reached that goal and I ate a donut. I thought that's fair enough. If I manage to burn 5,000 calories in a week more than I ate, then I will allow myself a donut, a treat. So yeah, that was one thing about the last 3 months of last year in autumn. Was very lazy, unproductive, not really working much on projects and such. And I would quite often go to the supermarket after work and just eat a ridiculous amount of chocolate. So yeah, not particularly happy about that. But reflecting on the year as a whole, I am happy with the amount of progress I made in reading books. It's the year that I've read the most in my life. I'm happy about that, and I'm going to continue that in 2025. I'm also happy with the amount that I ran. I never ran as much as I did last year. In fact, even in the last 3 months, I did go on a few long runs. Two of them were quite tough, half marathons, but one of them was a 16-kilometer trail. It's a trail. I get those confused. And the trail was excellent. I loved it, so I'll be doing a lot more this year. I've already enrolled for 5 different runs this year, first one being next weekend. Another trail, this time only 12 kilometers because I'm getting back into the rhythm of things. So yeah, that's basically the major life goals that I've got for the year 2025 is continue running a lot, hopefully get to the point where I run a marathon, maybe later in the year. Lose a lot of weight, so like I said, upwards of 20 kilos is what I want to lose. Now, if I only lose 10, I'm still happy. If I lose 15, that's brilliant. 20 is like, that would be incredible. That's more or less the weight that I want to stick around, is around 70. Yeah, so there's exercise goals, diet goals, reading goals. Most of my reading goals are, I'm hoping to get them all done by June if I can. Before I move on to the reading, I'm finally finishing my old school RuneScape Quest Lore series. This video project I started almost 5 years ago, and I had the opportunity to, with all the free time in the world during the lockdown, to just crack on and get on with the videos, but I wasn't motivated at the time to do it. I took a 2.5 year pause, and then I got on with the videos, and then I took another 1 year pause. So out of the 5 years since I started the project, 3.5 of them I didn't work on the project. Yeah. And now finally I'm picking it up again and I'm finishing it, and by the middle of February all those videos should be done, and then I'll fully focus on my reading goals. Like I said, reading until June. I hope to finish the Bible and a few other books that are complementing the Bible, and so hopefully I've got a good understanding of all of that stuff. And then I'll move on to other topics, but this is certainly something I felt in my life I wanted to finish reading, and especially complementary material, because I know I'm not smart enough to understand all the depth of insights that there are in the Bible stories. So it's really nice to find other people who are much smarter than I am to be able to bring a very in-depth analysis of it. More particularly, I'm excited after reading the Bible. I want to watch, I think it's on the Daily Wire, it's 7 or 8 of the smartest people in the fields of theology, philosophy, psychology, and people who have studied the Bible, symbolism, all of these things, all come together around the table and discuss Exodus. And then they also did one where they discuss Gospels, and I've seen clips on YouTube, and it is incredible stuff. I really love to see a bunch of really intelligent people bouncing off each other, understandings and meanings that they get in stories. So that's something I really want to watch once I finish reading the Bible, and then move on to other projects. Now, this leaves the second half of the year more open to what I would like to focus on. I like this idea that I haven't got the whole year planned out, that I'm only going for 6 months on these video editing and then reading goals. It might take longer for me to read, that could happen. Or if I do achieve everything, I can choose other books to read in the second half of the year. Or if I really want, I can work on more video projects. Finishing this RuneScape project is going to be exciting, and it's good to get that weight off my chest, off my shoulders, just it's all out there, it's done. There's other RuneScape videos I want to work on that I feel like I could infuse with a bit more personality instead of just simple synopsis breakdowns of all the quests in the game. And I think I might be a bit more excited to work on videos if I was doing that. But again, I've got to go with my flow. I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself. So yeah, the must-dos are finish the Old School RuneScape series and read a bunch of books related to the Bible. And then there are a bunch of other books I'm going to be reading alongside as well. Yeah, I normally have 2 books in rotation at a time. One that I read on the way to work and on a break at work or whatever. And then another one which I normally focus on when I'm at home in the morning and the evenings. Cool. So that's the third goal. I've got other goals throughout the year. I think I'll talk about them at some point. Oh yeah, and something interesting. I quit smoking weed on the 8th of January last year, and it's been over a year since I've smoked. So I can say with a lot of confidence, I feel really confident that I managed to overcome the addiction. Although I must admit, I'm still tempted. I do miss it. I do miss the munchies. I think that is the thing I miss the most from it, is the munchies. There's something incredible about feeling that hunger and then finding a delicious bit of food. Even if it's not particularly delicious, it is still like the most incredible experience to be so fully immersed in the universe of flavor and not being aware of anything else. For a short moment of time, be it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, how long it takes to eat, your mind can go completely blank into a blissful, peaceful state of mind, just fully appreciating the flavors that you're experiencing in that moment. And that is something that I don't get in my day-to-day regular experience. I'm sure that monks who have meditated for tens of thousands of hours probably find every single mouthful that they eat to be that exact experience. You never know. I think you can naturally get yourself to be so fully absorbed in the world of flavor. But at least, I do feel like I miss that munchies shortcut, if you will. So yeah, I miss that. I also miss the simplicity of listening to music. So for example, in 2024, I listened to a lot less music than I did in 2023. 2023 was an excellent time for listening to music for me, and there was a certain emotional tone behind the tracks that I was listening to. Whereas 2024, always having been sober while listening to music, it makes it not as easy to appreciate. I don't allow myself to go with the flow as much, I find, and yeah, the vibe is different. It's not like I don't feel the music, it's there, it's all there, but it's more like I've only got a surface level appreciation and not a full, more in-depth appreciation of all the layers, especially the emotional layers that music has to bring. I feel it much more when I'm inebriated, but there you go. So on that, 1 year without having smoked, I feel like I will permit myself this year to do it once every month. I would say at most once every month. And I also don't want to have any tobacco in it. I've realized also I really don't, I run a lot, so I don't like the idea of damaging my lungs and lowering my health. I also really don't like the brain fog. Like, that's the worst part of it. It's like I always feel for a few days or maybe even up to a few weeks after partaking upon the puff that my mind isn't completely where it was before I did. And so I know for a fact that that's something I don't want to, that's one of the downsides that I would have to deal with. And I feel like spacing it out is at least a way for me to, when I really want to, I get to appreciate the full immersion in the sensory experience, different to the typical sober experience. And I think that's something I'd be down for. So yeah, that's all that. Can't think of anything else. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, such as goals for this year. In fact, I've got a little paper on the wall that's reminding me what my main goals are. Oh yeah, meditating consistently. Every morning I've been waking up and meditating, and I'll be honest, out of the last 7 days that I've done this, I only felt that 3 of them were particularly focused and that my mind was on a ramble, monologue, dialogue, whatever, thought loop, thought train, typically in the style of conversation, the idea of conversation running through my head instead of being able to sit down and concentrate. So that's something I'm planning to improve on. I want to have maybe an audio guide for myself that I make myself to help me ease into the relaxation of my body, starting with stretching and then a bit of breath work and then the act of meditation. So that's something else I've got planned. So meditating consistently, I think, even though I've talked about everything else and I've only left meditation to the end of this video, I know for a fact that if I meditated every day consistently, that would probably be the thing that contributes the most to the improvement of my life than any other thing that I'm doing. More than the weight loss, the diet, the books I'm reading, the video projects I work on. I know for a fact that meditation surpasses all of those individually, and so that's something else I want to consider. Yeah, I've been very hungry this week, as you can imagine, almost burning 5,000 more calories than I consume. I felt very hungry, so I'm getting used to that feeling as well. Other goals that I've got for this year, big trips planned, 2 of them. One of them in April, I believe I'm going to Morocco with my cousin. I'm so excited. It'll be the first time I leave Europe, and it's so close as well. It's 7 hours to get to Gibraltar from where I am, and then from there another 5 hours to the spot in Morocco that we want to go to. So it's all in a day's travel. If we want to do it all in one day, or if we want to break it up, we can have a pause in Gibraltar. I've been there many times. I would be a great tour guide, I'm sure. Spent over a year of my life there, in fact, or when I was on my summer holidays while I was growing up. But because the summer holidays in Portugal are 3 months, it doesn't make sense. It's like 3 whole months. It's too long, and I'm not complaining. I love holidays, but it definitely didn't set me up for the rest of my life. Now that I'm working, knowing that I'm only going to have a maximum of 4 or 5 weeks of holiday across the year, not 12 weeks in a row in the summer. So anyway, Gibraltar, I love it. So I've got a Morocco trip planned. The other trip I've got planned is in August. I want to see my close friends from the UK that I haven't seen for a very long time. I miss them a lot, and so I'll be going to Portsmouth for the first time in close to 3 years. It will be at that point. It will be about 3 years, just under, that I was last there. In the UK, a long time I've been in Portugal now. Yeah, time flies. And I also want to walk the Southdown Ways from Winchester all the way to the coast of Eastbourne, to the lovely white cliffs there. And that's a 100-mile hike, so that I'm particularly excited about. So all the running I'm doing this year, and the trail running as well particularly, is preparing my legs and conditioning my body to be able to handle these sort of adventures. It's much more for an endurance, definitely, the multi-day hikes, but I think I can do it in about 6 or 7 days, and August is, I guess, the best time to do it in the UK, because that's when I'll most likely avoid the rain. So yeah, the company that I work for, we all have mandatory holidays for a minimum 10 day in a row in August. So fit in the hike, say hello to my friends, trip down memory lane by walking down the streets of Portsmouth. I'm particularly excited for that. I miss it a lot. It's a weird Stockholm syndrome, I'm sure. But yeah, 5 years of my life were there, and I think back to it very often and very fondly. Time has, I first realized this when Casey Neistat pointed this out when he was doing his daily vlogs. He says, time has a way to filter out all the bad memories and only leave the good ones. So it's difficult for me to get into the negative frame of mind that I had during a long period while I was there in the UK. I wasn't particularly happy. I was doing a course I wasn't really interested in, and I then did a placement year that I didn't want to finish, and I knew that it was a different path that my life was going to take than the one that I had envisioned I was going to be on there in the UK. And then there was a lot of stress, of course, living with housemates and the difference of personalities. But without a doubt, it's probably the only way to learn how to deal with people is by going through these sort of experiences. And I certainly learned a lot, and but most importantly, the differences in our personalities, the different past experiences that we have that shape us into who we are today. I've deviated a lot from whatever this original vlog was going to be, 2025 plan, but yeah, you can tell quite easily that my mind can drift so easily. And so this is one of the reasons why meditation is important, and spending less time on screens as well, which is why it's so important to read more, and exercising more and dieting. Having less calories through my body will probably exhaust my brain a bit more, I hope. So I don't think so much. But yeah, super excited for the UK trip, and then winter holidays next year, about a year from now. We'll be here in Portugal. So those are the 3 holidays I've got planned. Camping as usual a few times throughout the year, exploring Portugal a bit, getting to know beautiful places around the country, and that's also good. Yeah, that's about the gist of it. I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be a good one, and a very important realization I had at the end of last year, and this was particularly important for me, is no matter how many different books you read or YouTube videos you watch that are on the topic of productivity, self-development, how to improve your life and such, there's one rule that I think trumps them all, and that's to stop procrastinating. I think that beats all the others. If you have an ability to stop procrastinating and you make your progress towards your ambitions and such, your goals, and you don't get off course and you don't give in to addictions, whether it's food or drugs or whatever, if you stop procrastinating so that you're not on 4 trains all the time, and that you actually manage to get your head down, focus, and complete the goals that you've got set for yourself, I think, for me at least, I know myself well enough, I can spend hours and hours planning, but then when it actually comes to executing, man, that's the difficult part. Ideas are the easy part, execution is everything. And so this deep realization I had at the end of last year made me think, yeah, I've got to stop procrastinating, and that's just about it. And that's what I'm hoping this year is. I hope this year, much similar to last year, is a year that much more I can say I'm procrastinating less and less. I still find this a struggle. Spending too much time on screens, watching YouTube, for example, that's another problem. But I just unsubscribed before recording this. I unsubscribed from about maybe a third of the channels that I was subscribed to. And most of the ones that I stayed subscribed to are, I would say the vast majority of them, don't upload regularly anyway. So I'm hoping that slashes the amount of time I spend watching videos by quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, enough rambling. That's my goal for 2025. I'm going to look at my list and see what else I might have forgotten to mention. Well, that's about it. Part of the diet is to cut sugars. Like I said, the only excessive sugar I've had this week was a donut. So to say, in a whole week, I didn't have any other artificial sweetened items. I only had a donut. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I've got to crack on working on tomorrow's old school RuneScape video. I'm going to go work on that right now. Thanks for watching. Peace.